Hi there, my name is Ashley, and today we're going to be doing some planty chores. So I have kind of a wide variety of things I wanted to do today, but I just kind of picked out some little projects that I've been meaning to do, and we'll do them together. I think I'm going to start with potentially the simplest. If you saw my last video where I put my varicosum in semi-hydro, and I had separated out this other plant. Basically, all I want to do is just kind of a bunch of clear pots. I kind of just want to pick it up and plop it into a clear pot. I don't know what size I want to do, but I wish I had done it to begin with. Yeah, that'll be like perfect. And I think, the soil's good enough, it'll kind of just stay together, so I'm just going to try to maybe not, maybe I lied. I'm just basically kind of trying to pick it up and plop it in. Yeah, that didn't go exactly how I had planned, but I'm just basically putting it into a clear pot. Not a whole lot of progress on my varicosum that I put into semi-hydro. It's just kind of adjusting. There's still a new leaf that's coming out. I've been giving it a lot of humidity. I'm just trying to make sure it's happy. Sorry you can't really see what I'm doing, but this was just a quick little thing I wanted to do. So it's just in a clear pot now, and I'm going to kind of top it off with some of my soil. I just have a huge bin of it. For my soil, I use a bag of Fox Farms, and then I forget what brand it is, but it's an orchid mix. So instead of just orchid bark, it has charcoal, orchid bark obviously, and some really chunky perlite. And I like using that instead of just the orchid bark. But yeah, that's our first project. Just putting this into a clear pot. It does need to be watered, so I'll be doing that after. Alright, I'm going to see if I can switch up the angle so that you can actually kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, this is a little better. Can't really see my face anymore, but at least you can see my workspace and what I'm doing. My next task is to upsize my Anthurium forgetii. This is the newest leaf. It had some damage coming out, but I want to upsize this because I find my Anthuriums do better in a bigger pot size anyways. They like to have room, and I'm constantly having to water this one. You can see all the roots in there, growing really well. So I don't want to go up too much in size, just a little bigger. Although I think this might be the next size up I have in clear pots. That's not too big of a difference. It's a little wider. I think we're gonna go with that, because my only other option is these giant ones, and that's way too big for this guy. Alright, so I'm gonna start by just filling the bottom a little bit. Okay. I don't want it to sit quite so high up. Let's see. I think that's better. Alright, I am going to reuse some of the soil that it was already in because I potted it up not all that long ago. So the soil's still good and it's nice and chunky. I got this plant from a Facebook group in my area, and it It had just like 2 little tiny baby leaves when I got it. This was my first anthurium, and I've just kind of fallen in love with anthurium ever since. I now have 4 anthurium. This is the Forgetii. Let's see, I have a Dock Block Michelle. I have a Pap X Viejo hybrid. I have, I forget what it is. I got it from a girl that I've become friends with in that same plant group. I don't remember exactly what it is. It starts with a C, but it's not a clarinervium. It's something else. Regardless, I just think anthurium are so beautiful that I don't really care what it is. I just love them all. Alright, so this is potted up. And for my anthurium, I like to put a layer of sphagnum moss around the top so that these roots at the very top that come out of the actual stem, they get some moisture. And then also that's how I know when to water my anthurium, when that moss is dry. So I have some moss in this bowl, soaking in some water. I'm just going to add some of this on top. And then I am going to water this afterwards, but I want it to pre-moisten the moss. I probably grabbed a little too much. I'll add it on top. So some of my other anthurium. I found this from a girl on TikTok. I unfortunately don't remember who it is. And I tried it with this one actually. I originally had it in a setup like this because I was scared to overwater my anthurium, and like I just didn't really know how to take care of one because I'd never had one. And I don't remember why I took it off. Hi Maggie. But I've been meaning to add some on top, so I figured this would be the perfect time too. Alright, I do still have some left over, so I'll probably just add some fresh moss to one of my other anthurium. Alright. I'm gonna give this one a thorough drink as well. But there she is. She's a little crooked. I may have to add a stand so I can try to get it to grow upright. I think it's been leaning towards the grow light I have it under. It's kind of towards like the front of my shelf, but regardless, she's cute. Alright, my next task is this neon pothos. This is kind of just me trying to figure out what's going on with it. I've had it for like a year now. I mean, she obviously needs to be watered, but I've had it for like a year and it's not growing. I don't see roots, so I'm thinking maybe I need to downsize it. And then maybe just even, you know, some fresh soil will liven it up. But I just want to figure out why it hasn't been growing, because I give it fertilizer, it has access to natural light, which a lot of my plants don't currently have, but she actually has access to natural light, and it's just not branching off or growing or anything. I don't see any pests. Obviously there's some yellowing leaves, but like that's to be expected on the older ones. But yeah, I just don't really know what's going on. So I think I'm just gonna take her out and see if maybe this pot is too big. Soil's definitely dry, but like I said, I knew she needed water anyways. I don't see root rot or smell it. there's definitely a good amount of roots. I mean, they're pretty dense in the middle here. Just don't really understand why it's not growing. Like, this is a solid root ball. Yeah, I don't see any rot. Alright, so this is pretty much the size of our root ball. So I guess there was a decent amount of extra soil, so let's see. This is a little smaller. I mean, this is going to be a little tighter than what I would normally do, but I think I'm going to do it just to see, you know, if it will begin to grow. And I'm going to give a little bit of fresh soil on the bottom, and then I'll reuse some of the older stuff on top. But yeah, all my other pothos are growing fine, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this one. But I have like a mixed planter of pothos, like with golden and Manjula, marble, enjoy, like all those kind of pothos philodendron. And I've been saving a spot in that mixed planter to add neon once I could like take cuttings and add it in there, and I've been waiting for almost a year now, and I don't have anything to cut. So I don't know what's going on with this one, because all my other pothos and stuff are growing good. Big gap, so I'm just trying to poke some soil down. I don't know if putting it in a smaller pot will help, but I'm willing to try just to see. I never really wanted a neon pothos, but this one was on clearance and it was like perfectly healthy. I mean, maybe not, apparently, but I just had to get it. Alright. Project number 3. I'm gonna give all these plants a pretty decent watering because they all need it. Alright, I'm going to throw away. Okay, my last project is to put this alocasia, this is an alocasia, trust me, back in like a semi-hydro setup. I don't have very much experience with alocasia. This is a fried egg, and I have 2 of the variegated fried eggs in semi-hydro, and those ones are fine. This one was in semi-hydro, and then it turned into a stump, and I think I just kind of panicked, and so I put it in this itty-bitty little pot with soil. And I don't like that idea. So what I'm going to do, yeah, it has like no roots. Like, this is just a stump. So my plan is to put this poor little thing back in semi-hydro. Oh, it has corn. Is those corns? There's like no roots, but it looks like it's growing a corn. Oh my goodness. A couple of them. Yeah, no roots. So I think I'm going to, I think this might be no, I have smaller ones than this. I'm going to grab my even smaller pot. And I was going to use pumice, but because it has no roots, I think I'm going to use perlite. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go rinse this off, grab my little cup, grab my perlite, and I'll be back. Okay, I couldn't find that little itty bitty cup I was talking about, so I'm just going to use this with some perlite. I won't fill it up like all the way. And then I'll end up just putting this clear cup into something without drainage to keep the water in there. I also, when I was rinsing the dirt off, I got, it still looks dirty, but I promise I used like a toothbrush and everything. I accidentally broke off these two, they look like corms, which I'm kind of shocked that this has corms, even though it's this. Anyways, I'm just gonna pot them up all together, just to see. I would love to have this fried egg back. I wish I hadn't like panicked when it turned into a stump, but I did. It happens. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to save this, but we're gonna try. Alright, so that is all of my tasks that I wanted to do. So now I'm gonna go water all of these, find something to put this in. Thank you for joining me for doing some plant chores. I hope it was somewhat interesting, just a relaxed little plant chores things I've been meaning to do but haven't. And I will give updates on how these are going, and I will see you next time.